What is going on, guys? Johnny on the track back with another video coming off a great weekend last weekend. I ended up betting on SVG, and I'll get into why I bet on SVG a little bit later when I go through my strategy this weekend. But the big thing for us was hitting those props. Kyle Busch was on the final card top five. I mean, that bet looked dead for the majority of the race after I think he sped on pit road. He got spun out. And so I was like, damn, that is an L. But Kyle Busch bounced back. He kind of finally overcame something and drove his way to the front at the end. Ended up finishing fifth exactly. So great race for KFB. And then Ryan Preece for a top 10 at plus, I want to say 350, maybe even like 400. But another big hit. Ryan Preece has been spectacular this year. You guys know he's my favorite driver, so he's just been great on so many different tracks. He's improved so much, and yeah, he might be a guy that I'm targeting this weekend. We shall see. But I have a similar approach betting wise this weekend to what I did last weekend. So I'm gonna take you through that betting approach. So what it was I put SVG on the card pretty much the day of the race. I saw him at plus like 250, I believe was the fine. Yeah, plus 250. And I basically said, all right, I'm going to take this bet and I'm going to put this bet to make my money back. Okay, I'm going to put a decent amount. Hopefully, I make my money back here on this if he ends up winning. And then the props that I choose can help me win those extra units. And that's how we finished up 4.5 units. Could have been so 450, $45, depending on how much you would bet. That's how we had a great weekend last week. So I would say right now it's really, really tough to put a bet on SVG. He's plus 130 on DraftKings. He's plus 140 on FanDuel. I'm going to give you Rhode Island Sportsbook as well to give you some numbers. He's 140 on Rhode Island Sportsbook. So I'm not going to take him right now. I'm going to hope that line shifts a little bit. Again, a road course where the field, his advantage to the field is a lot less than what it is at, say, a Mexico City, at, say, a Chicago, where SVG, Chicago, he's been the class of the field. Really, the first time we've had a full dry race. So, guys still learning, hot, slick, that sort of thing. And then, of course, Mexico, that was the first time for everybody. So he has a significant advantage. We're going to Sonoma. Larson's been great. Hendrick's been great. Toyota's been great. There's a lot of guys that have been really good at Sonoma in the road course era, in the next gen era, rather. So they know this track. This track has been on the series forever, quite frankly. And so, these guys all have raced this track plenty of times. They know it well. SVG, this is really now only his second time, I believe, racing at Sonoma. So, again, the advantage that he has on the field a lot less. So I'm gonna wait right now to go with SVG because I don't. First of all, he's minus 400 for a top three finish. He is minus 600 for a top five finish. So, I mean, I don't think he would ever be how do I say that? A minus bet to win a NASCAR Cup Series race. I just I don't think they would ever do that. So my guess is either it's going to stay the same or shift the other way. So I'm going to wait on that, but I'll probably end up placing that bet. So anyway, he was my money back pick or a hedge bet pick, if you will. Then I went heavy on Toyota and then some of the bigger underdog drivers to win as well as props. Underdog outrights to win and then props. I'm gonna have a big card this weekend. Obviously, had a good weekend last weekend, so gonna carry a lot of that money over and come guns blazing with a big card. Here's one guy that I'm high on, and I shouldn't be, but I am because I just feel like at this point in time, he's ready to break out of this little slump that he's in. Last five races for this driver: 28th, 9th, 27th, 37th, 40th. That's William Byron. It's only one top 10 in his last five races. Prior to that, he had a second, a sixth, a third, a second, a fifth. So he was on a heater for sure. He has cooled off a little bit, but he had a really good practice at Chicago, had a good solid top 10 at Mexico City. I think we come to, or every track we go to, he is a top at least seven car, mostly a top five car. So I think if he just like has a clean race, had an electrical issue to start that race. I don't even think he finished a lap at Chicago, but had a great practice. Ended up having a tough qualifying effort there, but was really fast. So I think he's going to have a lot of speed at Sonoma. Statistically, it's not a great road course track for William Byron, but he's minus 140 for a top 10. And he is, let's get the top five number, plus 150. Although I feel like I saw more to the plus 200s for a top five. That was a DraftKings number. Top five, William Byron plus 200 at some places for a top five, and again, minus 140 for a top 10. So I would take him for both. I would take a heavy bet on him to be top 10, maybe a little bit smaller on him to be top five, but I think William Byron, just based on speed, is going to break out of this slump and have a good weekend. Obviously, he was great at Coda, had a chance to win that race. Again, I would compare that a lot to Sonoma. So Willie B, I think, breaks out of his slump. Another guy who I had last week, I'm going to take him again because he's been fast. He's been good. He's shown that he actually can overcome things at these sort of tracks. I guess aside from Mexico City. But Kyle Busch, I'm going to go top five again. We hit a big one on him last weekend. He proved last week when things started to go wrong, he sped, he got spun out. He was able to come back and drive his way to the front because he has a really good car. This is a great road course program. It was a good road course program when Tyler Reddick was there. It's continued to be a great road course program. He was the fastest and best car at Coda. He had a great run there. Probably should have won if things go a little bit different. This team is locked in at road courses. Kyle Busch, again, even qualified, I think 11th at Mexico City, so showed some speed, was good in practice, and just the rain got to him and he spun out, but overcame a lot last weekend. And we've seen two or three road courses, and two of them, he has been a top five car in each of them. So to me, Kyle Busch, I'm ready. I'm ready. I feel like this is the only kind of expertise and area that team can kind of, if things go a little bit wrong, he can find his way back up to the front because they have a top five car. And I'll take Kyle Busch on one of his better road courses, which is Sonoma, for a top five. I don't have him yet for the outright. I wouldn't hate if you choose him for an outright. He's 25 to 1. I see that he opened at 35 to 1. I got him for 40 to 1 last weekend for a small outright. But I'm going to take him for top five. I like that bet. Major money line bet. Here it is. 10 to 1 he opened at. He's still, I think, around 10 to 1 at most places. 11 to 1 at DraftKings. 9.5 to 1 on Rhode Island. Let's see. FanDuel. Sorry. 10 to 1 on FanDuel. So best price for right now, this driver is 11 to 1 at DraftKings Sportsbook. That is Michael McDowell, Mikey McDubs, as I like to say. I think he's got the car to contend with SVG. There are two guys that are coming to this track where, statistically speaking, in the next gen era, this is their best track. It's Chris Buescher and Michael McDowell. McDowell has an average finish of 4 here, an average starting position of 2.3. His worst finish is is seventh. His best finish is second. Buescher, another guy, has 3 top fives in 3 races here. Best finish second, low finish fourth. They are 1-2 in the driver rating. I think you would be you're okay going Buescher as well. He's 14 to 1, so he's a solid bet here as well. But from what I saw last weekend, Michael McDowell to me has the car. He was able to get out front on a restart, beat SVG to the spot, and was able to fend him off on a lot of good runs that SVG took. You kind of have to ask yourself, who do you think was lying more? McDowell? Or first, SVG said when, he couldn't pass and get around Michael McDowell. He said, well, I was just kind of saving my stuff. I could have passed him if I wanted to. Michael McDowell fired back and he said, well, I mean, I was saving my stuff too. And so if he was coming, to try to pass me, I would have put the pressure on more and he wouldn't have been able to do that. Michael McDowell also, to add to that, he thought that if that race, if he doesn't blow or have that throttle issue, he feels like he wins that race. So you have to ask yourself, who do you think is lying more? And quite frankly, I don't think either of them are lying. I think that's what they feel. And so to me, I believe Michael McDowell. And the last time Michael McDowell felt very, very confident going into a race weekend, and he is very confident. Look at his tweets. He's confident. He feels like he can go out and win this race. This is his best track. He said it himself. The stats back it up. This is the track where he's most comfortable. The last time that he felt he had a car to win and should win, that was the Indy Road Course. He did win. And to me, I think he calls his shot, and I think he gets it done. There's been two road course races in Michael McDowell's career that his team has given away. It was last weekend at Mexico or at Chicago where the car just failed on him. That was not on him. That was the team. The car failed on him. The other one was Sonoma 2 years ago when Martin Truex Jr. won. He was the only guy that had anything for Truex. He has a slow pit stop. That ended it. Still had a great finish again. Still finished top 5 in that race. But that was another time where Michael McDowell's team let him down. I think this is the week where the team locks in. They know this is his best shot. Michael McDubs. They get it done on Sunday. That's the one that I'm the most confident about. Still love all the Toyotas. I think for me, I'm going to place the winning manufacturer Toyota again. You've got Gibbs, you've got Reddick, you've got Bell. Even Hamlin showed some stuff, and this is statistically Denny Hamlin's best road course. If you actually look at the numbers, especially in the next gen era, he's just been good here. So I like those four guys. I don't know if I'll end up placing a outright on any of those guys. If I do, I would probably lean in the Gibbs direction, probably just because, second place and second place at Mexico and Chicago. So he clearly he's right up there. But I like that camp the most. You take SVG out of it and McDubs out of it. I like the Toyota at that camp the most with Gibbs, Reddick, Bell, Hamlin, even Briscoe to a lesser extent, especially when you look and they are plus 350, I think, plus 350 to win. I think there's great value on, those four guys right there that I mentioned to possibly win this race. But again, outright's probably going more in the McDubs and the Busher category. Final guy, one guy, Hail Mary. Give me Ryan Preece. Give me Ryan Preece. He's 85 to 1 at some books, which that some book is Rhode Island Sports Book. 80 to 1, actually. That's the most up-to-date number. He's 80 to 1. He's an improved road course racer. Most top 10s in the series since Kansas. He's on a heater. Best average finish. Best stretch of his career. Statistically, this is his best road course. He won an ARCA race here a couple years back. He's 80 to 1. If he can do it, it'll be this weekend. And from what I've seen, I mean, he has improved a lot. In Sonoma is one of those places where we don't always get like the same winner. Like Sonoma seems to have a lot of different guys that win at this track, especially in the next gen era. We've not had the same winner here in the three races. Suarez won, Truex won, Larson won. So different teams, different manufacturers. You take a look at the driver ratings. Busher's up there, McDubs, of course, Chastain, Allmendinger, Blaney has a really good driver rating here. I mentioned Ryan Preece. He's got a great average finish here. So you look around, there's a lot of different guys that find their way here. There again, like I look at a guy like Byron who hasn't even really been like that good here. So even like some of the top guys, struggle here. This is Logano road course. Logano has a really good average start and average finish here. So a lot of different guys. It's an interesting, unique road course that favors certain drivers and certain driving styles. So to me, Ryan Preece can put his name in that hat. He has a 70 driver rating here, which is pretty darn good. It's right around top 15 among the active drivers. So overall, like I said, it's going to be a big card. I'm excited. I think this is going to be a fun race. There's 8 guys left in the in-season tournament. If I were to give you a parlay for that, which I kind of actually cooked up, I would go. The safe me says Reddick over Priest, Gibbs over Smith, Ty Dillon over Alex Bowman. I think Dillon somehow makes his way to the final four. And then I would go, this one's a toss up. I think overall Nemechek's probably a better road course racer. Let me take one more look at Eric Jones. Yeah, he's stunk here. 46.1 driver rating, average finish of 24, average start of 33. Yeah, I mean, Hunter Nemechek stinks here, but he's only raced one time, finished 29th. Um, I just think overall Nemechek's a better road course racer. So that parlay gets you to plus 833. Again, that is Reddick over Priest, Gibbs over Smith, Dillon over Bowman, and JHN over Eric Jones. Plus 833. 10 pays 93.38. That would be my in-season final four picks to make that a parlay. But want to know what you guys think. Put your thoughts in the comments section down below. Who are you betting? Final card, as always, Action Network. Johnny on the track on Action Network at JOTT_podcast on X. That'll be posted Sunday morning to get your final bets in. But these are the guys that I'm giving you now to get the best value on. So put those bets in. If you agree with me, give this video a like. It goes a long way for the channel. And hit that subscribe button down below if you like what you see, if you like what you're listening to. Thank you as always, and let's go win some money.